You're watching RISKSA TV. It's the end of the second day of the PSG Annual Conference 2015. We're at Sun City. I'm joined now by Riaan Strydom, who's an advisor with PSG Wealth. Riaan, you spoke today a little bit about the challenges for advisories in taking on the changes coming in with RDR. What are some of the considerations and changes which advisories need to make sure to ensure that they're prepared?
I think one of the big issues is that there's some confusion that RDR is going to change the way that we give advice. It's only going to change the way that we get remunerated. So I think the big challenge will be to get the right clients to give advice to get a service model for those clients that is commensurate with the remuneration that we will get within the framework of RDR, and to properly segment our client bases so that we can spend our time on doing the right things. I think that is the biggest challenge. We are, as I said this morning, we're a bit like farmers when it comes to RDR. We are price takers. RDR is coming and we have to roll with it. We are not going to change it. I think all the effort that all the intermediary bodies and PSG and the other big firms are putting in engaging the regulator and making sure that our point of view is really top of mind as well when they make their decisions. That's a big plus for me. So whatever the outcomes, I'm sure it will be the best that we could have negotiated, and we'll just have to adapt.
On the topic of segmenting the market, the change in remuneration is going to make it harder and harder to service the bottom end of the market. There was suggestion today that if you can come up with a model that makes it easier to service that end of the market, there could be a real opportunity, as other providers aren't able to service that part of the market anymore. What is your sense around that? Is that realistic?
I think it absolutely is. Look, their size does matter. If you are big enough, you would be able to put the infrastructure in place to properly service the bottom end of the market. I think one of the unfortunate unintended consequences of RDR could potentially be that the lower end of the market will end up being unserviced. And those are the people that need financial advice and service the most. With the current remuneration structure where there's big cross-subsidization, we can service those clients in a way that is adequate and basically steal from the rich to give to the poor. In an RDR framework, segmentation is going to be absolutely paramount, and I believe a model that could work, and one that we have proactively implemented, is where we have employed junior financial planning graduates who have done their internship and have basically decided that they love financial planning, but they don't want to take the risk of running their own business, giving this regulatory framework and how difficult it is to actually get started. And we have employed them on a permanent salaried basis with incentives to service the lower end of the market, to free up the senior planners to look after the bigger clients. And it proved to be very, very successful because the old 80-20 principle, if I can spend all my time on the 20% of clients that give me 80% of the income, that just makes for a much more successful practice.
So it becomes a learnership opportunity for them and a business opportunity for you. So on the topic of learnerships, there was talk today about barriers to entry to getting into the industry for young advisors, for new advisors. As someone who's been successful in the advisory space, you mentioned that often for new advisors, they can be their own biggest enemy. What's your advice to people starting out?
I think be patient. That's the biggest single piece of advice I can give you. You will not be an overnight success. It takes hard work. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes long hours to build a profitable client base. So even now with the changes in remuneration, it is going to be even more difficult. You will have to stick it out in an established practice. You will have to put in the hours. You will have to make yourself basically indispensable. And if you do that, there's always a future for you. A lot of advisors get despondent. They struggle. The income is not necessarily there where they thought it was going to be, and they give up. Our industry is not for everybody, but I believe with patience and hard work and dedication and picking the right team around you and attaching yourself to that team, you will make a success of it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.